basically, you know, last year when I gave a vice chair report, I had no idea what a good vice chair report would look like. So today I've decided to do something a little different. And I'm giving, I think it's good for us to remember why we do what we do. And so I thought it would be important for an officer to help us remember. And so in my remembering, I'm going to tell my story of how I became a libertarian and some big picture ideas that I've developed since then. And so hopefully it'll bring to mind some of the memories that you have and will allow you to remember why you do what you do as well. And maybe it won't. Hopefully it will. But basically my story began my sophomore year in college. I was on a study abroad trip in southern Africa. And on that trip, you know, I came from a world of plenty and then to a world of absolute poverty. And as a result, you know, my heart began to break. I felt a lot of compassion. And it was in Africa that I was introduced to this philosophical term called Ubuntu, which basically means I am what I am because of who we all are. And that's what led me down the road to libertarianism. Archbishop Desmond Tutu describes Ubuntu as being a person, this is a quote, a person open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, for he or she has a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that he or she belongs in a greater whole and is diminished when others are diminished, when others are tortured or oppressed. And so that's what, that is to say, we become less of who we are when others are victimized, oppressed, wrongfully accused, forsaken. It's this notion that our liberation is directly bound up in the liberation of others. We're not free until our neighbors are free. Freedom, as you may know, has less to do with the removal of outside influences and rules, which I love coming up against, and I love to challenge those, of course. But it has more to do with being who we are truly meant to be. It is in this freedom that we ultimately find out, as never before, that we were able to freely love. In doing so, we break free from our false selves and learn more and more about who we are truly called to be. It is this human-centered philosophy that attracted me to the Libertarian Party. Because we recognize that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, right? We advocate a natural law, a law that cannot be changed regardless of our wants and desires. It is what it is. And as such, we are truly powerless, ultimately, over it. And a lot of libertarians get into this mindset that we're self-seekers, that we're radical individualists, all these kind of notions that aren't accurate to natural law. And so, whether it's the tyranny of one or the tyranny of 50% plus one, we've got to resist it. We resist by recognizing that we ourselves too can become tyrants. It's this lust for control over our own lives and the lives of our neighbors that have to be challenged. Every claim to authority has to be confronted. We are addicted to control. All of us are. And so we need to challenge that. Like I said, we're not radical individualists. We are individuals, no doubt. We're individuals that not only recognize our own self-worth, but the self-worth of everyone else around us. And as such, we don't get mixed up in attacking personalities. You know, it's not that we hate Obama, Cheney, and Bush, despite our overwhelming opposition to their policies, because we desire, too, that they be free as well. And we invite them into that freedom. And so my personal desire for everyone here and for our party is that we can become this beacon of liberation in our world that excites people, captures their popular imagination, and brings about a better future. So how do we do that? Well, we basically do that by being who we're meant to be. You know, if you're an artist, draw. If you're a musician, sing. You know, do what you do, but be a good neighbor in doing that. And our every action will illustrate to our communities that a better world is possible. And that true liberation is at hand. We will be liberated. And so I, like you, am not the author of my story. I had no idea that my world would be completely changed upside down when I stepped onto that plane. But my mind is free now. And I'm glad that all of our minds are becoming free. And it allows me to be thankful and have a heart of gratitude for what we do. And so now, Let us go into the world and be the lovers that we were made to be. Thank you.